Hello and welcome to highlights of race 1 of the Millennium Endurance Tour from Oulton Park. We are going with the Ducati 1098R, a dream bike for many people in this world. Setup wise, Oulton's not too hard on the front end. We do need a bit of support just to stop the tyre overheating and make sure we get a decent amount of life out of it. The Ducati has a long wheelbase, so there's a fine line between too stiff, causing the tyres to be too cold, and not stiff enough, causing the tyres to overheat and wear out too quickly. Again, I've not used this bike before this race, so it's a little voyage of discovery. Qualifying wise, 1:35.8. Bike felt okay, a little too stiff. The rear tyre couldn't get any heat into it at all, so I'm going to knock the spring hardness down 2 clicks before the race. We've got a decent gap to second place, so we should be okay. The race itself, I've gone for a medium front with a soft rear. I did turn the suspension down a couple of clicks. I don't see me using the power map too often, so the soft tyre should be okay. If it is a bit too soft, I'll swap it to a medium at the pit stop. The start itself, the autopilot actually got us away fairly well this time. We've been down in second or third sometimes recent races, but with the Ducati we got away. Second place, Cody Brown giving us a little bit of grief, and the AI throughout the race really stuck to its guns. I've slowly been turning the difficulty up, trying to get to that 120% just for the sense of achievement more than anything else. But we got away okay. We've got a half second, 1 second gap before the inevitable Motto Martino cluster arrived. The bike felt okay, struggling to get heat into the tyres. Too stiff, I think. Not enough weight transfer. Later on in the race, when the fuel level gets down to about 55–60%, the bike seems to come alive, and it's just almost as if the full tank just holds it back a little bit. Over the brow of the hill, and we go for a bit of a ride. Off we get. Down into 6th, and now we have to work hard. The AI were absolutely determined to not let me pass. I had to make some pretty harsh moves to work my way back up the field. I'd go up the inside, run a little wide, they'd run up the inside and reinforce me wide, using the grass. Some of the overtakes were a bit harsh, like this one on Alvin Finch. Elbows most definitely out. It was a good race. The AI really made it very interesting. The bike, the Ducati, loads of power, loads of torque, loves to wheel. Again, that wheeling is another symptom of the bike being set up a little bit too stiffly. It's just that fine balance. The pivot point of the motorcycle moves as the amount of fuel in the tank drops, and it's just finding that race-long balance. Didn't quite find it this time, and cold tyres lead to running wide and more crashes. So again, back to 3rd, fighting our way back through. Just try and get to the front. Risky going around the outside, normally ends in tears. The AI likes to fold the front and take you out with them. Paid off this time. I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting the hang of the bike and the hang of the physics model as I then play Skittles with the leader, which was a bit harsh. Really nice piece of track through Island Bend into the Shell Oils hairpin. Really, really nice bit of track. If you've got the bike set up well, it flows really nicely. I'm not a massive fan of the hairpin. The bikes can feel a bit sluggish going from left to right. Again, it all boils down to that balance. So overtake the leader. Should be on the inside for the final part of the chicane, and hopefully got enough power to move away. And that was it. We stayed in the lead until the pit stops. There was no threat of rain, so I was quite happy to stop halfway through. Went for a medium front, went for the medium rear. 13 laps with 30% fuel left. I wasn't quite sure what to do. I'd not really used power mode. I went for 75% fuel, and as soon as I left the pits, I flicked the bike into power mode just to give me that extra bit of performance, making it a bit easier to pass the other riders and work my way through the traffic, so I wasn't losing too much time to the leader. Nice double overtake there into the Hislop chicane. The bike started to feel good. The tyres were starting to generate a bit of temperature. The medium rear seemed to give the bike a bit more support and just made the whole lap much more stable up there, especially through Druid's Corner. This one was lovely. Carried a bit too much speed onto the straight. Massive wheelie almost over the back. It's nice to see the game incorporates typical Ducati electronics, decide they're going to work when they want to rather than working all the time. The anti-wheelie is on level 2. The race bikes, anything less than level 2, I really struggle. The throttle response on the triggers is a bit weird sometimes. It's not quite as linear as I would like it. Pushing too hard, round the outside, way too fast, back end off the floor, and again we're on the deck. Back to 5th, pushing. The AI seem to really go long for their pit stops. We are, what, 25 minutes into the race, and some of them are only just stopping for fuel. 4 seconds behind the leader. I've got a nearly full tank of gas. They've got 30%. I knew I didn't have to push too hard. Now it was just a case of finding a rhythm and just letting the bike flow. So catching the leader, Suzanne, she leaves stage right into the pits, which leaves us out front, and now it's a case of not doing anything daft, pushing on, just getting to the end of the race. I did forget that I'd put the bike into power mode, so when the low fuel warning came on, I was quite surprised. I genuinely forgot that it was in full power mode. I've smoked nearly 3/4 of a tank, quite happily, running round, burning fuel, oblivious to the fact that I'm about to run out. The setup for the race was obviously better than qualifying because we've done a 1:35.0, nearly a second faster. The job, as they say, is a cod. First place, decent lap time, great bike. The 35 seconds was probably a little flattering. We did have to work for that. It wasn't as straightforward as just running round and smashing the AI to submission. Next up, we are going to the Exhibition League for the Triumph Style event. Thank you for watching. Please think about subscribing, smash the like button, turn the bell on so you're notified when I release a new video. Stay safe. See you soon.